Hello, I'm Lineke Lijn and welcome to another tutorial. Let's get started. In this tutorial I'm going to draw a meteor rain for you, if you like. And here you can see a pre-study that I've already done. I'm using a lot of pencil eraser for this drawing. Also, of course, the standard graphite pencils. And here we have a harder pencil, if you like. And of course a thick blender. But what I'm also using is, well, it's kind of funny. It's Smokey Eye Eye Shadow. And well, I've got it in the budget. It was very cheap, and I noticed that it's very nice to work with. You can also use graphite powder, of course, but well, the Smokey Eyes was in the budget, and well, for €1 one cannot complain a lot. So what you do is you take a little bit of the eyeshadow, and here's my first setup. It's my most important meteorite, and I use a lot of Smokey Eye for the first meteorite, and I also use it for all the surrounding. So I'm drawing in the universe here, and I make sure to have a lot of movement going on. Here about will be the surface of my planet, and with my finger and a little bit of eyeshadow I draw in very roughly the surrounding of my universe. You can see it's very quick to do, and it's very easy. And once you have this, you have a perfect setting for the meteorite shower that is hitting our planet. And I've chosen to zoom in as much as possible so you can look what the powder does to the paper. The blender can be used also to put into the makeup powder, and then you can draw more easily than you would with your finger. Of course, drawing with the finger is very good for the surrounding, but for the little detail I'm using the blender. You can also use it for the sharp edges. And this is the edge for my most important meteorite, the one I want the most focus on. And you can also use the blender for the little meteorites that are smaller or more in the distance, for instance. So it's very handy. Then the pencil eraser, that's my big friend. I use them a lot for all kinds of drawings, fur and all that, those kinds of things. But it's also very useful for this kind of drawing. With the impact of the meteorites that are hitting the planet, I can easily draw out the kind of water damp and the explosions that are going on the planet. And I can easily erase the eyeshadow that I've put on the drawing paper with that pencil eraser. But you can also see here, is that it's easily used for the stripes that the meteorites make in the sky of the universe. And here I'm using the 8B graphite pencil, and I use that for the darkest shadow side of the meteorite. Like the light is coming from the left, and here you can use the 8B for the darkest, for the sky of the universe, for instance, and just around the edge of where the meteorite is hitting the atmosphere, and that is burning up on the edges. And by placing the darkest darks against the whitest whites, you get that great feel of the most important meteorite, and then it really stands out great. Now I have the kind of composition of my drawing, and all I have to do now is to get more detail into my surface of the planet and the impact, of course. And what I did is I've looked at a lot of pictures on Google Images, and what I do is I kind of make this up, and I shift from 8B to 2H, for instance, or an F pencil, a very hard pencil. And I kind of do this by memory, so out of the heart, and I try to place the gray tones, like I'm doing here with the F pencil or the H pencil. I place that against the 8B. Those are different kinds of gray, and by doing this you can really get the more sense of deepness, of 3D effect, if you like. Also ideal to use the harder pencil, the H or the F, for the surface of the planet and just around the corners of the impact itself. The water mist, or the debris, I think it's called, the debris that is coming off the surface of the planet. And well, by using more kinds of shade of gray, harder and softer pencils, you get a great feel of dimension. Here I'm using the eraser pencil again. And they are really ideal because you can sharpen them as a regular pencil. So the eraser material is just in a pencil like a normal pencil, and you can sharpen them all you want. So you always have a nice sharp eraser at hand. And then, well, it's just the feel of dynamic. You can shift around all you want. Once you've placed in all the graphite or eyeshadow, if you want, into the paper, you can shift it around as much as you want. can make parts darker, as I'm doing here. And if you're not happy about it, you can always lighten it up a little bit by using your eraser. So you can shift around the little graphite powders. Here I've drawn in some little light bulbs, like there are stars in the far distance. I need some kind of debris also in the sky. And around my main meteorite, I want as much clair obscure effects as much as possible. I need the attention to be drawn to my main meteorite. Here I've shifted back to the hard pencil, the H, because I want a little bit more detail in the surface of my planet. And then I just tip it a little bit in the edge, just to get that cloud rising up a little bit. Just shift around as much as you want. And as I was saying in the beginning, I've chosen for a very close-up for this drawing, so you can really see what I mean with shifting around the little pieces of graphite into your drawing. You can easily erase them. It's just little pigments that are lying on your drawing paper, and just play around with them. Just fool around and just try to make it as dynamic as possible. Here I am concerned for the surface of my planet. I think it needs a little bit more darkness, especially here in the foreground. So I'm putting a little bit more 8B. Just here in front. And you can see it's a bit, well, you can see the texture of the paper through it. So if you see too much texture, you can also always use the blender. It's it's a paper stick actually. It's a blender, and you can always blend in the little pieces of graphite into the paper. Maybe you need a little bit more darkness here or there. You can always use a little bit of eyeshadow or graphite powder and rub that in. Here is another little meteorite in the distance. Well, that's about it. I will blend in the 8B a little bit more into the paper. And you can see I'm using quite a lot of pressure with the blender stick. So I'm really rubbing in the pigment of the 8B so that it really touches the paper here. Well, as I'm saying, you can endlessly go on with it, and it's very, very nice to do. I hope you will try this drawing because it's really fun. But for now, this is my study, and I'm signing my name here. Of course, I hope you will also try this drawing to do it yourself. And of course, I hope to see you again in one of my other videos. Hope you give it a big like, and I hope to see you soon. Take care. Bye bye.